Hi, this is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. What happens if there's a product that could guarantee that it would reverse the effects of aging on your muscles? Basically, it would be the Fountain of Youth. Would you buy it? Well, a lot of us did. There were products like resveratrol and rapamycin that showed that you could extend the life of worms by about nearly double their life expectancy by giving them these compounds. And that stuff flew off the shelf. People were very excited about it over the last couple of decades. And I'm not against those type of products, but there was a better study in 2007 that showed with absolute certainty that you could reverse the effects of aging on skeletal muscle on human beings, not worms. And you would think that that would be front page news, but it wasn't. And frankly, I think it's because of our psychopathic system that ignores your health because there's nothing for them to gain. And that big mystery thing that this guy discovered in 2007 that was the Fountain of Youth and did work in human beings was exercise. And it was absolute crickets. I don't remember seeing any study, any newspaper articles on it. I don't remember my doctor telling me, we have found the Fountain of Youth and you need to start exercising hard. That's the shame of it all. That really, frankly, it was under our noses the whole time. And if you want to get younger, if you want to reverse the effects of aging, you need to exercise. But let me define the terms, because that's kind of important. When they defined exercise, they're talking about pushing against resistance. Basically, lifting weights, body weight exercises, using bands, I don't care, using sandbags, something that you can push against for a certain amount of time to the point of muscle failure. And when that happens, that begins the activation in your cells to start building muscle. And it renews some mitochondria and sends signals to your body that causes your body to release human growth hormone and to start building new muscle. And frankly, it takes a lot less time than you might think. I mean, you don't have to do this every day. Matter of fact, you really shouldn't. When I'm talking about pushing a muscle to failure, this is something you do, no more than every 3 days or so. So you take some time off between each set, and you don't have to spend your life in the gym. I get my workouts done. I exercise in 2 10-minute segments a week. That's all that's required. There's people that are growing muscle actively that only go to the gym once a week for half an hour. So you can do it with a relatively small time commitment, but the results are spectacular. I mean, and the other cool thing about it is you can begin this at any age. There was a study done at the University of Florida at Gainesville by Arthur Jones. And this is with women who had osteoporosis. They had weak bones. And what the study tried to do was to say, okay, we know that putting bones under stress, under load with weights will actually help them grow and get stronger. And they didn't want to hurt them. So what they did was they did the exercises, the pushing motions and all that stuff very slowly. And yeah, they got the bone growth, and that part they were expecting. But what they didn't expect was a massive increase in strength and muscle size. People thought that your muscles quit working and can no longer grow when you hit a certain age, and that's not true. There are people that start lifting weights in their 70s and 80s, get stronger much quicker, and keep getting younger. It is a fountain of youth, guys. It's that powerful of an effect. Now, if you are going to exercise, and when I say exercise, again, what I'm talking about is the deliberate application of force to the point of fatigue, of failure. And that's kind of an unfortunate term, failure, but I mean it very specifically. When I'm pushing against a weight or resistance, I'm pushing it to the point where I can no longer fully extend out my arm, or my leg. And when that's done, I feel almost claustrophobic. So when I do my workouts, and they're only about 10 minutes, they're pretty intense 10 minutes. I feel, like I'm really fatigued when I'm all said and done. It doesn't take a lot of time, and they kind of suck when they're actually happening, but they're only 10 minutes. And after that, I'm done. Then I begin what's called the recovery phase. And that can take from 2 to 3 days, depending on how much how young you are, and it varies a lot. There's a lot of variability. So don't take anything that I'm saying as gospel that you have to recover 3-4 days or whatever. When you are no longer tired and you can start again, you're done with the recovery. I mean, basically what recovery means is, scientifically, is the muscle growth has stopped. Recovery is where you actually grow the muscle. And it's going to depend on some factors like, how good a sleep you're getting, how much rest you're getting, and the quality of the nutrition. You need protein in order to build muscles. In order to synthesize new muscle cells, you have to have the protein. So diet counts too. I mean, they're all part of the same pillars of health. What do I keep saying? There's 3 things that you need in order to be healthy: diet, exercise, and sleep. Well, they all work together in the recovery phase. So these are important concepts. You want to have the exercise, and it doesn't have to be a lot. Recovery, at least a few days. And if you want to do it once a week, that's fine. You're going to gain muscle, and you're going to be stronger. But don't confuse exercise with activity. See, activity is just doing stuff where you're just being active. That can be taking walks, hiking, doing your kayaking, cutting the grass, and even running. See, marathoners are engaged in activity. They're not really engaged in exercise, because exercise is deliberately trying to build type 2 fast twitch muscles. These are the strength muscles. And your body, when you're engaged, when you're doing a marathon, you are using the other type of muscles, the type 1 muscles, for long periods of time. And while you are moving and you're sweating, etc., you're not really building up type 2 slow twitch muscles. So if you're a marathoner, start throwing in some resistance training, because you need the fast twitch muscles. And if you don't have them, here's what happens. See, the number one reason why people go to the trauma center nowadays is not because of auto wrecks. It's not because of major crashes. It's not because they've been shot. And matter of fact, if you add up all those together, they don't even equal the number of people that go to the type 1 trauma centers with multiple traumas. The number one reason that people are going to the trauma center is because they were standing and fell. Usually older people who, and if you've noticed, a lot of older people, they don't move laterally. They don't move side to side very easily. It's because they've lost those type 2 fast twitch muscles. They don't have the strength to hold themselves erect, really. What happens is they've lost those strength muscles, and they've got to rely on their skeletal mass. They have to stay in line. And when they get bumped off the center, that's what makes them vulnerable to falls. And when they fall, they break their ribs and a wrist and stuff like that. That's multiple traumas. And this is what kills people. When you go to the hospital after a multiple trauma, what they're going to do as part of the triage process is assess you. And the key question that you want to be able to answer correctly is, can you get out of the chair unassisted? If you don't need your arms, if you just stand right up, you're fine. There's a 90% chance of survival from that type of injury. But if you have to use your arms to push you up, your chances of survival just fell to 50%. And if you need people to help pull you out of the chair, your chances of survival are so low that they often call in hospice at that point. So it is a matter of life and death. And it doesn't require a huge investment in time. And it doesn't require a lot of investment in money either. You don't have to rush out and go to the gym. You don't have to buy the latest sports gear, etc. Just do stuff. You can utilize your own body weight. You can utilize bands. You can get sandbags. You can find junk laying around that just kind of looks heavy and you lift it up for a certain period of time until your muscles can't do it anymore? Frankly, anything. And and there's advantages to using bands and body weight over weights, because when you use weights and you're trying to push the fatigue, you either need to use a machine or you have to have somebody spotting you. So, you don't have to do that if you don't want to, as long as you're doing stuff that will make you stronger by fatiguing yourself at least once a week, maybe twice, and you are pushing yourself to as close to failure as you possibly can. That is going to stimulate muscle growth. That is the fountain of youth. And you want it because it's going to help keep you alive for the long haul. This is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. I hope you tap into this fountain of youth and make yourself stronger for the long haul. America needs more strong people, because frankly, this is, what's typical of people nowadays is they start losing muscle in their 40s. We know that by science, that muscles are going to start atrophying. You're going to start to have some form of sarcopenia, loss of muscle, and it's going to begin in your 40s typically, and it will really speed up, like 30% type speed up when you turn 60. And that's typical. Doesn't have to be, but that's the typical response for most people. And they start getting weaker. So what do? They start sitting more. And then by the end of their 60s, they're heading to the nursing home. And then they sit some more, followed by going to assisted living. That's where they die. That's typical. That does not mean that that is normal or what you have to do. You can keep on lifting weights. You can start now getting stronger, even if you are in your 60s in a nursing home. When you start putting those muscles to work, you're going to experience the most rapid rate growth and strength that you're going to experience in this whole thing. You will probably be about 50% stronger if you're really pushing yourself for short periods of time, a couple of times a week. Your strength will increase 50 to 100% in 6 to 12 weeks. That is the most rapid growth that you're going to get in your entire life. So enjoy it. And as long as you keep pushing yourself, you're going to constantly keep getting stronger and more muscle. And you don't have to worry about becoming Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's not going to happen. Your body has got mechanisms that slow down muscle growth as it gets to a certain point. But the body also has a lot of mechanisms that will make sure that your muscles atrophy. And your type 2 fast twitch muscles are the first to go unless you work them. So make sure you're doing it. Don't confuse, your exercise with activity, though, because they're two different things. And make sure you're giving yourself enough time to recover. Give yourself some time to sleep. Feed your body well with adequate amounts of protein, and get strong and do good things. And if you like this message, please hit the like and subscribe button. Join this channel and help me get this message out to even more people. I try to put out a new message every single day, and I will talk to you soon.